Hey guys, welcome to the conversation. I'm Jerry,
I'm Ryan.
and this is Two Brothers Off Script. Thanks for joining us this week. If you like what we're doing, hit subscribe. If you don't like what we're doing, throw a comment down below and tell us why, and we'll ignore it.
Yeah, this time.
So what do you got going on this week?
So my week's been pretty good. Returning to work. I mean, I don't know if I talked about this last couple episodes, but we went to Mexico, saw Puerto Vallarta. It was for like a company trip. A lot of fun. Got to see some things. I spent a lot of time in the ocean. You know, it's nice and warm down there. And I was on the Pacific side there, so no hurricanes for me. But it was a lot of fun. And then immediately following that, we went to a wedding in Ohio. So I've been off my my diet pretty much last month. October
Really?
was a big one. Oh, I turned 33 in October. My kid turned 3 in October. It was just, October was a really busy month. I was actually going to do like sober October.
Okay.
There's so many things going on. I was like, all right, no, I'll do no booze November. So officially November, I'm not drinking, as well as like the old men's awareness, not shaving. You know, it's like.
Are you doing the?
We've obviously kept our beards the entire.
We have, yeah, no shave November. Are you doing the 25 beers of Christmas this year?
So this year, and I was gonna actually talk to you about this, and you might want to do it, you might not want to do it, depending on your taste. But I actually picked up an advent calendar, but it's 24 shots.
24 shots.
Yeah,
of
you
Christmas?
don't do them in succession, you know, but they're all from Heritage.
That's how you get alcohol poisoning, by the way.
Yeah.
Your kidneys and liver will fail.
You can do it if you've been training as I have, but I won't. So I figured we just split a shot and taste it, test it, and see what it's like, and we could do it all in the lovely studio. But yeah, instead of beers this year, it'll be make these little shots, and I've got a Heritage distillery. We did a tour out there. It's on Gig Harbor. It was a lot of fun. Had a good dinner out there. Got to take the little brewery tour. But that was still like at least a month or so ago now. Before October, when it was nice weather out. It's getting colder.
Oh my gosh, we had snow this morning.
Snow and rain.
I was out trying to run around, gather up all the yard tools. We did a bunch of work last weekend, got a bunch done. I had the day off, and just trying to get yard tools pulled in the snowstorm was not. I didn't enjoy that.
I find it surprising that you call it a snowstorm.
But okay, it was a flurry.
It's a flurry and
It was a small flurry.
a snow rain mix.
The stuff didn't stick around. Snow.
Yeah.
But I've had some bad experiences with that. When we were living in Colorado a couple of years ago, we took this, hey, we're just going to go on this nice fun family trip up to the Denver Aquarium.
Yeah.
On the way back, there was a freak snowstorm, because if you're in Colorado, you know that there are freak snowstorms. And we ended up crashing a ditch and broke our truck, and kids went to the emergency room. It was a bad day. So now in my brain, every time I see that stuff, I'm getting anxious now. Getting triggered.
Yeah. I saw your Halloween costume.
Oh my Lord.
You didn't trigger anybody with that, did you?
Yes, I did. So I wore a giant blue elephant outfit that was too small.
Yeah, it was.
It was too small. It was a costume that I didn't own. It was in the bag. It looked funny. And in fact, it was funny. I'm going to tell you, it's very hard to have a serious disciplinary conversation with a person while you're wearing a giant blue elephant costume.
Safety vest. And
trying to give this lady, hey, here's your feedback for last week. You know, this was good, but we need to work on this area. And she's giggling.
But
giggling.
You can diffuse a situation and still deliver the bad news.
Had a bad one. Had a bad one this week. Had some folks make some mistakes, make some bad choices. They got really lucky, and I'm glad they're all safe. But it was sometimes bad stuff happens at work. I know you've experienced this, and I've experienced this. In fact, I was thinking one of the things we were talking about was how. So I used to work for temp agencies, a lot.
I did too.
A lot, and you're never ready, right? You get called up to go to a temp agency for work. In my opinion, like you're never ready. You have whatever gear you think you have is not the right gear. So you'll show up to the job, not really know what the job is going to be, and they're like, "Yeah, you're temp labor, so we want you to climb on this roof."
Right. They had this big saying or a big speech they would always give. If they ever give you something to do that's not in your job description, you can report it back to us, and we'll make sure it's all good. But if you did report stuff like,
then you're not staying on the job.
Yeah,
you're not getting paid.
Oh, sure. We'll get that worked out. And then, by the way, you'll not work today.
You're not welcome back.
Yeah. So I worked for a temp agency for many years before I came down to the Seattle area, and then actually when I got here, I didn't really have any job, so ended up temping for about 5 years, which got me into my current job as a temp, and then I eventually got hired on, and then now I'm a supervisor all of 6-7 years later. So, but there's a big difference between the temps that I see today and the temps that I saw when I was temping, and I think a lot of it has to do with, like, I kind of think I had the attitude too. It's like I liked being a temp because it meant no real commitment, didn't have to work that hard. If I didn't get that job, then I could make an excuse and get a different job. And I mean, I did. I worked probably 20 some odd jobs. I turned down a few every once in a while. I just felt lazy, didn't want to get out of bed. No, I don't want to work the 5 a.m. shift. I'm not feeling it today. And then they just wouldn't call me back. Or even if they did call me back, I'd be like, I have an excuse. And then a week or two later, come back begging, say like, hey, I really need a job, need some money. And they'd give me a job. But I'd been there so long, kind of helped. But yeah, it's just no get or done attitude, no real drive to be anything more. And when you see somebody that's like 35, 40 years old, 30 years old, whatever, and you're still temping, and I'd say, like your first question is, so you're an ex-felon or something, like what's your deal? Why can't you do something different? Why can't you make the next step? Oh, big breaks never come. Like, what do you expect your big break to be?
Yeah, like, do you find a random bag full of $100 bills, or what are we talking about?
And not return it? That's criminal. If it's got bank on the side of it, you're probably not supposed to have that. But yeah, it's definitely an attitude thing, and I mean, we all like our free time, and I think that temps get more free time than the average person. But I also see it like as a, hey, I'm crashing at my family's house or something. I don't have anything. I don't have any real responsibilities. I don't have a car. I don't have this. I don't have that. No reason to have a real job or even try. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
And I'll say too, like, so I've heard some people say, actually in feedback to the show, well, you guys just judge people, Like, I lived it.
Leave a comment down below.
Yeah, leave a comment. But I've lived that.
Yeah.
And it is hard work sometimes. Things certainly go wrong sometimes. But if you want to be successful in life, you have to work harder than the people around you. Like, that's just, there's not, unless you're born into the money, there's no other option. You have to work harder than the guy next to you, because if you don't, then he'll get the opportunity and you won't.
Right.
Yes, certainly there's corruption, and certainly there's people who, get ahead when it feels like they don't deserve it. But the reality is, like, you have to beat the person out that's next to you. And you don't have to hate them while you beat them, but you got to beat them. You got to be the best kid on the block.
Life's a competition. Unfortunately, winning means dying. That's the only way to reach the finish line. That's the thing. It's like you can go away. Somebody was saying this quote, it's like you have what you have, and then you don't have it anymore. You work really hard to get it, and you spend your entire life getting it, and then you die. There's not going to be, like I've always said, all I ever wanted to do, I don't want to be a millionaire. If I won the lottery, great. I'd spend a lot of it on some fun stuff, but then I'd probably give everybody I know some money just because, be debt-free, and just live a comfortable life. Probably even still work my job for a period of time, just because I feel like, you know, if you lose that route, then you kind of lose what got you there. But I just want to have enough money so that I'm not looking at the bill going, how am I going to pay this? You know, I incurred this charge. I didn't want to put it on another credit card. I didn't want to have revolving lines of credit. I mean, I've done that. Has anybody here, anybody watching, ever had a payday loan? Had another payday loan to cover the first payday loan, and then another one to cover that one, and then by the third, fourth, fifth, seventh, 15th one, you like, somehow I owe this company $18,000, and I have not made any more money than the money I made in my paycheck, and usually less because you're paying back the previous loan's vig. You've got 100,000% interest or whatever over a week's time. That's why they're illegal now, you know, because it's basically a scam. But those same people who would make me, personal friends of mine who would make me a deal, they're so bad with money, but they would come to me and say, hey, can I borrow $25 and next week I'll pay you 50? Or like in 5 days I'll pay you 50. I'm like, do you know what a bad loan is? I mean, that's a great loan for me. If you pay me back, I'm making a killing off you. 100% interest with no effort involved, and it's only a week term. That's a fantastic deal, but it's terrible for you.
Right.
How about you give me $10 and I'll float you to the next one? And then 3 weeks later, hey, can I get a loan? Can I get $60 this time and I'll give you 100? I'm like, again, that's a really bad deal. I'll take a $10 thing if you're going to pay me back, because I don't want the debt to become so insurmountable that eventually they're just paying debt through the same process of payday loans. Like, you gotta, at some point you have to say, I need X amount of dollars to get day-to-day done, and then I need X amount of dollars if I'm ever going to get beyond day-to-day.
I think debt is for it's for an emergency. Like, the ideal state is you have an emergency fund, right? You have a savings account. But I view debt as for emergencies only. Emergencies are, you know, unexpected, unplanned, didn't know it was coming kind of a thing, and you have a choice, right? Do you use the credit, or do you use something else? I guess there are cases like, I know we, especially when we bought this house, we had some home furnishing stuff that we wanted to do, and there was an advantage to us either through a 0% interest loan through the company, or because we got some type of a rebate where it was more financially advantageous to us to take the debt and then close the card later.
Right.
And I think the companies figure you won't ever close the card.
Right.
But that's what we've done.
Well, a fantastic deal with Jet.com was your first 3 purchases, you get 15% off. Well, Jet.com is a little bit less expensive than, say, Walmart, which now owns Jet.com, which is a strange economical idea, but they're free shipping over a certain amount, and you get 15% off. So you buy like $120 worth of stuff, and it ends up costing you $90, and it was free shipping, and it shows up to your house in 3 days. You know, that's a good way to buy cat litter for the first 3 purchases. You know, and that's what we did. We bought a bunch of shampoo, some cat litter, and some, I think it was some cat food or something like that. But I believe that, and this is how I do it now, is like with Home Depot, I'm going to keep that credit card because home improvements happen, but I have a good credit line. It's like $3,000, you know, but if I need to buy a washer and dryer and a new fridge, which I do for my new house, if that happens, then that was something else. We're in the purchasing process of a new property as our old house is being sold out from under us. So it's a whole fun process. But the owners of the new house are taking their washer, dryer, and fridge with them, so we'll have to buy one to make it happen. But when you make this purchase, no interest for 18 months or something, with the assumption, again, that you won't pay it off in that period of time. You'll pay minimums, you'll do other stuff like that. And I've always done it, calculated out so that I pay it off way before the interest comes due, so I don't pay any more, and I don't pay any less, and I get to not pay it all up front. So that's nice.
I think there's good advantages to it. I guess I just would say, like, when we talk about debt, when we talk about temp jobs, when we talk about working hard, when we talk about trying to beat the person next to you, when we talk about even being dads, those are all, you know, experiences. And it's interesting how life, I feel like life kind of makes us forget the experiences that we have. And I don't know if this is the same for everybody. Maybe it's not the same for you, but I feel like there's so many things that we do that we just, it's just like driving on a long trip, right? You don't remember what you did on Tuesday. You don't remember what you did on Wednesday. You remember that there was a Tuesday and there was a Wednesday, but the details leave because your brain's like, yep, not important, right? It's like, I guess I'm looping them all in here. It's like the hundreds and hundreds of pictures that you take with your smartphone that you never look at after you've taken them. You share the one to Facebook, and then you never look at the pictures again until you delete them all because your memory's out, and then you start over again, right? It's like we have this process where we're just kind of driving blankly through life sometimes.
Spending a lot of it watching YouTube videos, tricks, tips and tricks, all those fun things. And it's like, I mean, everything requires action, one way or another. Inaction is the same thing. You choose not to help yourself, there's your action. I mean, you choose to help yourself, and it's not just like us getting on people saying, you're being lazy, you're not doing your job, you're not being like us in some way, shape, or form. It's more, we are just having a conversation that tends to be more preachy, I think, in some ways, but it's the medium that I think shines the light on us too, because it says, every lesson that we talk about, we have to either act that way or we're hypocritical. And so trying to be honest and not just be opinion bound or opinion based and stuff.
Not just doing it for the clicks.
Yeah, we're not doing this for the clicks. I mean, it'd be great, but I'm never going to be a millionaire based on YouTube. And that's fine. But if I was a millionaire, I know what I'd be doing. I'd probably still be shooting YouTube videos because it'd be comfortable. I just wouldn't have like a crazy studio for it. Maybe some more lights. I don't know.
Yeah, we could always do something.
15 more lights in here. So, all in all, we've been having a good time, like on my side of things. Lots of stuff going on, and getting to fit this in every week it's just kind of fun. Like, we get to keep doing this, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But how's your day is a good conversation starter for some people, and I think it works the same with us. I mean, I wish it was all.
I wish it was all positive all the time, but sometimes real life happens. So I'll say this in closing for myself. I enjoy this. I love being here and ask somebody how their day was and really mean it. And sometimes you have a hell of a good conversation.
All right. See ya.